Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on, sit down, because today we're going to be talking about one of the world's most thankless jobs, being a crime scene cleaner. Everybody loves true crime nowadays. People will happily sit and watch hours upon hours of content about serial killers, hacking people up to bits, people getting murdered and everything, and they're just like, that's weird. There's the true crime scene. But do they ever think about how gruesome the aftermath is, huh? Well, luckily one job profession, you have to. What many people don't realize is that cleaning up after blood-soaked crime scenes can't be done by just anyone. There are companies whose sole purpose is taking on this type of job, and you'd be surprised at how intense and dangerous it can get. I find this hard to believe, but crime scene cleanups didn't really exist until the 1960s. So everything before that, they're just like, we'll have somebody else clean it up. Which is kind of wild to think about.
Where you clean it up yourself?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just or whatever. Not until the 60s, until they're like, we should probably have to pay someone to do this, right? Probably be a little more sanitary. But there was no specialty crew tasked with doing the cleanup. Police officers and investigators would do the work themselves. That is, until it became clear that handling these kind of biohazardous materials was incredibly risky and required trained professionals. From here, the crime scene industry took off. After all, there's no shortage of work to be done. The job isn't just about scrubbing blood from a wall. There's all sorts of biohazard cleanup that needs to be done in most cases. You can't just sit there and be like, well, this guy was shot and stabbed 27 times. Let's do a quick pass. He was sitting here for 3 weeks, so his skin is a part of the carpet. Let's do a quick pass. Get the scrub daddy and a wet cloth. We'll be out here in 5 minutes. Like someone's entire imprint, like one of those Hiroshima shadows or something like that. You're like, oh, that's gonna come right out. It very often includes cases of natural death, as well as even deceased hoarders, sending in entire crews out to sort out all the piles of belongings. Not only that, but because the job is required after the loss of a life, crime scene cleaners must also be trained to give emotional support and resources to the families during the worst moments of their life, which I will say the first or second round of the cleaners, that must have been pretty brutal for the recipients. So, sorry. I'm new to this, I'm sorry. Or whatever. That's a bummer.
Can you imagine coming back to the same house? Back again, huh?
Hate to say deja vu, but here we are again. Today, you can find ads for crime scene cleaner jobs plastered all over social media, giving promo codes for training discounts underneath before and after pictures of straight up murder scenes. It's an awesome kind of way of being like, you want to get into this? Also, that would be a job too, where I'm like, there must be help wanted posters everywhere. Someone please help us.
You think so? I think it's like it'd be like everybody running to get it because it's such a.
You would want to do it? Would you want to do it?
It pays well.
Well, see, that's what you're also like a rat. You're like a man who's just like, I don't know. I mean, do I get to eat the skin afterwards? Or you would have to be so, I mean, like probably the same way that like those investigators have to become desensitized or leave that shit at the door. That's what I respect the most about these kinds of people that are doing these jobs, is being able to like separate the horrors of mankind and just like the realities of mankind, and then be able to go home and be like, oh baby, look at this. You painted a rabbit. And then not just see like a dead woman's face on it. Peter Cottontail looks a little different.
I don't think I could get used to it, but.
No, I mean, I just think it's easier to just be like, oh, if it pays well, I'd do anything. You hear a lot of people say that. A lot of people are just like, well, I mean, it pays more than what I make now. But you don't think about the mental baggage that comes with it. I feel like it'd be a lot. It'd be hard to do. I don't think I could do it. I'd mentally snap. I feel like I'd peek into one room. Shut the door. I am sorry for your loss, but I have got to get out of here. That's what I'd be like.
I'd wear those like meta glasses and put a filter over it, so I don't think I'm cleaning up a dead body.
Yeah, the dead body is just a giant like Beanie Baby. I'm like, look at you.
When you were a kid, did you ever fantasize about like how to get away with murder?
Just want to take a second to thank our sponsor, GamerSubs, for being one of our best sponsors, if not the best sponsor on this channel, and for giving us so much support, and for having amazing, tasty, quality products like our own flavor, raw meat, that you can order right now. It's amazing energy supplement. There's caffeine-free options, and everything has 0 sugar, baby. So if you're trying to get off the sody pops and get into something tasty, consider raw meat GamerSubs. I'm telling you, it's amazing. You can't go wrong with any of their flavors, and they also have big-tittied anime shakers that, you know, if you get your rocks off to that, I'd consider it because they're pretty sexy. sexy. It gets me stiff in my pants. So thank you, Gamer Subs, for sponsoring this episode. And hey, check out raw meat. It's seriously the best flavor. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Raw meat if you're trying to get a nice caffeinated beverage. Thank you. Back to the video.
It goes without saying that the job is not for the faint of heart. Crime scene cleaners are pushed into truly horrific scenarios, taking the sights and smells that accompany them. One cleaner compares the smell to meat that's been left out for 3 weeks, which is like that. It just smells like rot. There's no, it's like almost like sewagey rot, but then also it always has like a coppery, bloody smell to it.
Have you ever smelt a dead body?
No, dude. No. I mean, to be fair, the only body I've been around, I went to my grandpa's open casket funeral. And I remember I was like 7. I told my mom, I'm like, why do we do that? And my mom was like, I don't know. Because I remember being like, oh, I was like really sad that my grandpa was dead, obviously. And I like went over and looked at him, and he's just like this stuffed chemical doll. And he's just like, it was horrifying. Honestly, I think it scarred me for life. But that doesn't smell like obviously like a dead body because they suck all the blood out, all yada, yada, yada. But no, I haven't smelled a dead body. This, on top of hearing from traumatized friends and family members, can do serious mental damage. Cleaners are also expected to be in this environment between several hours to several days, depending on how big the job is. It's not all uncommon for CSC workers to get some form of PTSD due to the nonstop trauma that they are tasked to face. That would be a mental hurdle too. Look at your work schedule. One day there. Yeah. 4 days. It's like, you know, that's gonna be a gruesome fucking scene. I just had a guy who like shit himself to death. It was a quick in and out, and this is like, oh, this is a whole family that died from like a murder or something. And you're like, oh, fun. I can't wait to unpack that later in life, because I feel like there's no way it would be impossible. I'm very, very much fine, like realizing right now, these CSC workers, whatever, have the mental fortitude of gods. Like, I don't know how you could do it. I couldn't.
I'm gonna change my answer to no.
You can't change your answer, Nick. You know why you also can't change your answer is because you've asked like, ever fantasize about getting away with killing somebody? You ever smell a dead body, Hunter? Also, before we were recording this, I just want to say Nick was sitting in his chair doing this. Oh. And I was like, what's going on? He's like, it's my testicles. I was like, are you having testicular torsion in front of me right now? He's like, so what do we want to do with this? I'm like, don't give me thoughts of war. He's like, ooh. Just sitting there, not moving, having testicular torsion. Go to a doctor.
I'm fine. It doesn't hurt anymore.
The pain, he subsides, Hunter. I'm fine. You like drop your pants. There's like these big 2 purple plums like right there. These are normal looking testicles, right, Hunter? These are what Italian balls look like. The scene of a crime is teeming with viruses, mold, bacteria, and bloodborne pathogens. And CSE workers have recounted times where even the slightest mistake has led to serious consequences. Like the time one cleaner had his gas mask slightly loose, leading him to catching a norovirus and being bedridden for a week straight. That's where it would me up too. I'm too lax with that stuff. Like an air fry piece of chicken, and you're like, that looks pink. And I'm like, no, I think it's all right. That would be me. They're like, your thing looks kind of loose. It's covered. That I would be the person where then it's like, cut to a week later, I'm completely bald in the bed, just like, I feel thin, Nicholas. Is what I would say. You might be wondering why anyone would subject themselves to this type of chaos day in and day out. Well, it turns out that crime scene cleaning can be financially lucrative, which fucking better be.
When I was reading this made me think. Like in India, the basically subhuman caste, they are the untouchables. This is their belief system, not mine. The untouchables are like seen as the lowest of the low, but they do like the most important jobs of like removing dead bodies, cleaning sewers and stuff. People make fun of them and like beat them in the streets. So
they beat them in the street for what?
For being untouchables. There's a video of like this guy, he's crying, he's like, and these kids are throwing rocks at him and calling him names, but he can't do anything because he's the lowest caste system in India. And they're called untouchables because they say if you touch them, you become one of them. So if they touch you, you could like charge them.
You're saying they're straight up grinching our Indian brethren? My God, you're a mean one, Mr. Indian. You really are untouchable.
Let's do a fact check.
Also, I want to say the entire time, editor, put all kinds of text warnings that are all around saying that, with arrows being like, this man has nothing to do with that. All right. This is not a part of our warm up before we get into this. That came out of nowhere. Mr. Indian. I was going to say though, CSC workers, if they're not getting paid well, like if it was a thing, like teachers don't get paid shit. Can you imagine CSC? Yeah, we don't get paid that well. I'd be like, run away from that job. Run away. At least there's the noble aspect of like, it's a job that has to be done. Same with teaching. Usually I would say a lot of teachers get into it because they like the academia system, or they probably had a teacher as well who's like, this person changed my life and they want to do that. So sometimes I feel like sometimes people can be like, I don't get paid as much, but I love what I do. You can have that. It would be hard pressed, I bet, to find someone who's like, oh, I actually really love it. For the CSC worker, I'm don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's a guy who's like, I've been doing it and they're whatever, but I don't think someone's just like, when I grew up, I want to clean up crime scenes or whatever. Or people that say that, it's like usually some like edgy goth kid who's like 14. Your pay depends on how experienced you are and what you're able to handle, with some top earners being able to rake in a large salary doing the dirty work. David Schlum, a man who created his own biohazard cleaning company, revealed that he's made as much as $46,000 during the course of one weekend cleaning up a crime scene. He recalls his first job being so brutal that he shifted between almost fainting and nearly throwing up.
And there's just blood everywhere. I mean, it's brains over here, brains over there. I go like walk over to it, dude, and I start like choking up and like felt like I was gonna faint. I almost passed out. I really didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
But also, he probably almost shifted and fainted from being like 46 G's in one weekend. I'm fucking dizzy too. Yeah. I'd be like the Tin Man almost falling. Another man, Ben Giles, started a similar business in the UK that became a multi-million-dollar company. Of course, that is not without his fair share of horror stories. He's seen bathtubs fully filled with piss and shit. Filled! Dead bodies from hoarders trapped in their own filth, hundreds of needles, a pile of oily pig skins, and perfect skeletons still fully dressed in clothing they died in. And in one instance, he was called over to a supermarket on Christmas Day because a flustered employee decapitated a horse and dragged its head into the establishment to get his revenge. Do you think that they approach it the same way that they would do like a detailed car cleaning? Like, does the guy be like, so he dragged it here? The dispatcher, so yeah, I mean, it's a guy, like, he died in his own shit and piss, and there's like a dead horse or something, blah, blah, blah. Let me see if there's anything else in notes. Get children crying. But you'll figure it out when you get there. Is it as casual as that? It has to be. When it becomes a job and you see that, you have to become desensitized to it a bit. There are piles upon piles of stories told by current or former crime scene cleaners, each more absurd than the last. During a Vice interview, yeah, Vice, one anonymous CSC worker sheds light on a lot of insane scenes they walk into. She recalls the first time she had to clean up chunks of brain.
When you go to clean brain, it mushes into the ground. It doesn't just come off. You kind of have to pick up every little piece before you start scrubbing.
During one meth lab cleanup in a trailer, they found a man still inside cooking. They threatened to call the police and he didn't leave. He told them, quote, if I had a gun, I'd shoot you. Fun! During the scene of another meth cleanup, meth is such a reoccurring character in these stories. I wonder if it's... During the scene of another meth cleanup, the owner had just escaped police in the middle of shooting a graphic video. When the cleanup crew arrived, they found the apartment covered in cinnamon-scented lube alongside jars full of his own semen that he had been saving. That's really, they don't tell you about the CSC. It's not just dead bodies. You're gonna get some like weird meth head cum jars. He's like, don't even touch those. If you're gonna touch them, keep them sealed, and they need to be room temp at all times.
They say that sets smell the worst too.
No. What? I can't believe it. Just constant moisture? All right. On pleather couches. All right, I'll believe it. 32-year-old Scott Vogel claims that he's been doing it for so long that he no longer feels the need to wear heavy-duty respirators, instead opting for a thin mask because he can no longer carry out the smell of death and gore. I also wonder how much of that, too, is because of the chemicals you use. Adam, comparing Adam to a CSC worker, Adam, aka Creature Kid, I think that he's consumed so many, or not consumed, but it's like he's been around so many of the chemicals or fumes that I think that it's just, he doesn't have any smelling left, or so he can't even smell it. When I was getting my like prosthetics made on my for the short film, whatever, it was insane. Like it'd be like, oh yeah, it'd be crazy. Or it'd burn your eyes, and he's like, I don't even smell it now. It was just like all in his face, and he was just applying it, which is just. But that's what I mean is like, I bet you anything, he's just like, I don't. Why even put the respirator on? I can't even smell it anyways. Mike Andrews, who's part of one of the longest running crime scene cleanup emergency response units, has seen all sorts of insane things. For example, one hoarder home he attended had a ceiling high pile of used condoms. In another instance, a deceased man had hundreds of those surrounding a sex chair as some sort of shrine. Terry Hayter, a forensic cleaner, explains how many people die while laying on their mattress, and because of this, all the body fluids leak onto it like a sort of like giant sponge, something way less glamorous that you might see in shows like Law and Order, where they're laying there like, dead, whatever, and they're like looking at the body. It's like, no, it's just a bulged out, juicy mattress like a giant hunk of meatloaf. How nasty is that, man?
You think they resell the mattresses?
One of the most putrid parts of the job is cleaning up after a body that has been left unattended for a long time. Not only is their flesh rotting, but the smell is almost unbearable to many. A cleaner named Timothy Molesworth had once been tasked with cleaning the body of a man found dead in his bathroom an entire month after the fact. She went on to say, quote, "I literally had to scrape the deceased body matter off the floor tiles into plastic bags. The body wasn't even there. It was just so completely gone." There's like some TikTok videos where you see of people that go into hoarder homes, and they have like shovels and all kinds of like, almost like equipment that you would use to scrape ice off a car or something to get it out of like grout and stuff. What's so crazy to me is like, how as a homeowner, which it also just goes to show fucking landlords and stuff or whatever, how do you not rip everything out and just be like, start from scratch? Because that shit has to go down to the baseboards. Like, I bet you the baseboards are fucking, like the actual, or the subflooring of the thing are stained. One of the most insane examples of this story is told by Kelly Polisheks, who witnessed a man who had died from a heart attack underneath a shower that had been running continuously for weeks. It went on for so long that his body melted, clogged the drain, and had his sludgy remains poured out all throughout the house out of his front door. And I'm pretty sure that's how they found him, is because they're like, huh?
There's actually an app in China that says like, "Are you dead yet?" or something. Basically, you check in every day.
Oh, wow.
And to see if you're alive, and if you don't check in, they have someone come.
This is, I feel like a lot of people hear about this, but people that are, I live by myself in New York, in like a giant apartment complex, which also has tons of people smoking, doing whatever, which might hide the smell a little bit, or it's like funky and you're like, God, my neighbor's smelling like shit. I would be like, it's mandatory. You have to tell us that you're alive, you know? Back in the early 90s, one man was hired to clean up a crime scene taking place in a rich Los Angeles home in the hills. And according to him, the home was so large that you could easily get lost inside. It even contained an elevator. All the paperwork was done before via fax, so they got to work without meeting anyone that owned the home or was related to the victim. All they knew was that a businessman was killed inside the home, which is also just horrifying. You don't talk to anyone else, they're just like, someone died in there. Go into that dark labyrinth. Well, which room is it? You'll see. Go past the 3 cuckoo clocks and past the dark man's room. That's where you'll find him. The first thing they saw was copious amounts of water damage, leaving them to believe the killer might have left the faucet on after doing the deed, much like the wet bandits in Home Alone. It had seemed that an electrician may have shut off the power in certain parts of the home due to the water damage, leaving parts of the home eerily dark. And at one point, one of them was taking debris towards the exit when all the lights suddenly turned off. Every time the lights would turn back on, a completely different room was shut down in its place. People clearly started to get on edge because one crew member started insisting that it would be more efficient to work all together. We should probably just work together. You can tell that's like some like very kid energy. Whenever you're scared playing a game, when I had Quake 2 or 3 on Nintendo 64. Or it might have just been Quake, but anyways, I had that on Nintendo 64 and I'd be like afraid to move forward. And I'd be like, "Hey mom, come check this part out. It's really cool." Just wait for her to come. She's like, "What is it?" And I'd finally be able to proceed. And she's like, "Well, what is it?" I don't say anything. Everyone was hearing music at some point throughout the house. Closed doors would suddenly be open, and despite nobody going near them, they'd also hear loud, unexplainable banging sounds. 2 crew members started taking turns carrying the debris out to the truck, and during the last trip, one of them was left waiting in the dark without a flashlight. Fuck that. At that moment, he hears what appears to be his coworker walking in the shadows. He calls to him, but no response. Then, a third coworker holding a flashlight enters the room in a rush. He says that he swore he heard somebody screaming for him, but nobody raised their voices at all. And one of them admitted that after using the restroom, he saw a complete stranger walk by him and exit the room out of nowhere. They never got answers about what had happened, but some of them were convinced that the person was hiding inside the home, messing with the lights, playing with the music, sneak up close to them to freak them out. Which I will say, we meme on a lot of ghost shit, whatever on the channel. This does sound like somebody who's just like, it's probably just somebody messing with us, and it was like some actual weird, crazy paranormal shit. This also reminds me of this movie called Session 9, which I want to shout out that movie, Session 9. It's one of those movies that you'd be like, you wouldn't expect it. You're like the cover, it looks like kind of like a Walmart DVD bin thing. It's like an early 2000s, like weird paranormal movie, but that entire sequence reminded me of that movie, Session 9. So hey, shout out Session 9. If anything, play a little clip from it.
Okay. Jeff, mate. Go downstairs, make sure he doesn't turn around. You come with me. Hey. Fuck you.
There you go. In the world of crime scene cleaners, it's said that you gain a much larger respect for life as well as the deceased. Not all of them share this respect, however, which leads to some pretty absurd crimes. The company Crime Scene Cleaners from New Zealand felt the need to post images of horrific scenes from their jobs on social media accounts as some sort of weird marketing tactic. And upon investigation, it was discovered that their Facebook page alone posted countless photos containing the aftermath of domestic abuse cases, unattended deaths, and even one particularly gruesome post showed a victim's remains being scraped off a train. And in the photo, the crew member was holding up a human bone with a toothy grin on his face and a caption stating, "I'm very happy with his find." If that wasn't tone deaf enough, other posts showing maggot-infested bodies were captioned, "Human reigns for these fat wee beasts." What the f does that even mean, you psychos? Police had gotten involved and all the posts were taken down, but the company essentially got off with a warning based on them being seemingly remorseful, which, you know what, I will say, it feels very tone deaf, but I can also see what they're saying of like trying to normalize a job that maybe gets scrutiny online or whatever, but to not have the awareness to be like, man, that's somebody's like relative or whatever, or to like lift up somebody's bone and be like, oh, look, what is that? Other cleaners, like an employee from Clean Scene AZ, were causing problems from the very beginning of the job. They sent photos to their client, who was the niece of the deceased, to show their progress. Hey, so your dad's scalp and his other stuff, that's all, we got it cleaned up a little bit, but you can see still a bit of his calf and some toes, so we'll get that tomorrow. One of the photos was of a completely different house! That's not my mom. Oh, my bad. Wrong one. New phone. Sorry, who this? Just kidding. Then one employee, Deborah Claywell, brought along people who didn't work for the company to come along and take all of their valuables. When the niece returned to the home, the garage door was open and a car was missing. And not only that, but they had stolen jewelry, money, and the deceased woman's credit card before going on a spending spree. Clean AZ refused to take any of the blame, but eventually offered a full refund for their services before firing Deborah. I mean, listen, just because we have a couple bad eggs doesn't mean we can put it all on us. Which I will say, if it's that egregious, this is me just don't have any proof, but I'm just saying it feels like anytime I've ever been in a job, like working at like a grocery store, if somebody gets caught doing something, it's because they probably learned it from somebody else or they like have done it together. It's truly strange just how fascinated people are with the darkest and most gruesome side of society. It's long since been a fascination for the younger generation who will gladly watch videos of influencers deep cleaning hoarder dens or graves. Even as recently as 2024, there was a cleaning simulator game called Crime Scene Cleaner in which you play a man working for the mob. The game is essentially just cleaning up murder scenes in an oddly satisfying way. I think it's kind of like the one where you have like the power washer, like that game. Is that just called Power Washing Simulator or something? It's the way that those games, like almost like a slot machine, the way that it sounds cleaning off. It's almost ASMR or something. So I could see someone cleaning up that kind of shit. There's even a biohazard cleanup company called Spalding Decon that hosts the Crime Scene Cleaning YouTube channel, posting videos documenting their cleaning adventures. The channel has 1.5 million subscribers, and their most viral video titled Tub with Chunks of Flesh shows them cleaning up after a mother passed away in the bathtub. Comments on this video repeatedly point out how insane it is that they're so disgusted by it, but keep watching because they're so fascinated. Which is true, it feels kind of taboo almost, doesn't it? It's like something you shouldn't watch, but you do. And also, I feel like a lot of these channels are a bit more respectful with, they're not like showing anything crazy, but they are showing like, this is what the reality of it is, which I think it's kind of like admirable. Like whenever I saw even the people cleaning hoarder houses, unfucking believable, man. And it is insane too to be like, look at what this person was able to like completely turn around. And it's like fascinating too to be like, how many times have I been in a place and it's been a crime scene or so, like stuff that I don't know, like you rent a home, it was a hoarder house before or something. Because I don't think do you have to disclose that? I think if you're buying a house, you have to disclose that, like if somebody was like, if it was an active crime scene or something. Over on TikTok, CSE workers are filming their entire process and gaining millions of views. These videos often show blood and filth, likely left up under the label of education content. And also I think it's satisfying. It's that ASMR. It's like people that deep clean cars. Anticipation and payoff. I see a dirty thing. I see it get clean. That was satisfying. I think it's just like a weird primitive tick in our brains too. There are so many massively important jobs that go unnoticed by the majority of society. It can't be understated that crime scene cleaners are providing a necessary service to society. One that not only keeps things clean, but helps victims mentally prepare for the loss of loved ones. If you find yourself innately fascinated by true crime and want to make a living surrounded by all its dark and seedy elements, maybe this is something you want to do for a living. But just remember that podcasts and movies might not properly prepare you for the horrors that you find inside. Thank you guys so much, and hey, stay clean out there. We will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.